It had to end this way. The 22nd episode of Season 13 of Chicago Fire is a show about fresh starts and some endings that don't feel like endings. This is the eagerly anticipated next step for Severide and Stella. Since neither Carver nor Ritter's storylines are given a definitive conclusion, this farewell for them feels very much like a "see you later." Additionally, it serves as the prelude to a completely different plot for Herman and Mouch, one that completely changes the course of their long-standing friendship while still enabling them to continue in the show in a way that is intriguing and, in many respects, entirely original. Additionally, the episode centers on Dom Pascal and provides us with an alternative viewpoint on the chief through Severide. Pascal seems to have been intended to be a stopgap from the beginning. Pascal is clearly here to stay, as evidenced by this hour, Severide's faith, and the Monica business's outcome. Bowden is not him. He never will be. However, he will continue to serve as Firehouse 51's chief, and whether we like it or not, it doesn't appear that this will change. They were on the verge of adoption a few episodes ago, so Severide modified his typical motivational speech to Stella to include himself by saying, "We've got this." Parenting is a Stella and Kelly thing, not a Stella Kidd thing. A path they must take together. By revealing Stella's pregnancy at the end of Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 22, It Had to End This Way, the show seems to be rewarding the couple while also laying the groundwork for their future. It did have to end this way, in a sense. Because the season has been about Stella recognizing that she could do this and that she did want a family with Kelly. She might make a decent mother. Even though Stella isn't her mother, Natalie contributes to that. Because Stella assisted her, just as Aunt Laverne did. When she needed a friend, mentor, or adult to lean on, Stella was there. And that can be everything at times. Furthermore, how will Stella Kidd behave as a mother if she can be that way toward a girl with whom she is not related? What will Kelly be like as a father? They both secretly harbored doubts. One cannot avoid taking into account their upbringing. However, they spent the season demonstrating to one another and to themselves that they were capable of doing this. This implies that the moment of revelation is a joyful one. This now focuses on how this alters them as a couple moving forward. What it's like to work at a job as hazardous as theirs and have a family. How do you handle that fear and that doubt? What happens if one of them has to take a brief break? These are all brand new stories, and we're eager to see how the program handles them. How Stella and Kelly handle them. Stellaride's future has never been more promising, so everything in Chicago Fireland is going fairly well. Ritter's storyline is left incredibly open-ended in It Had to End This Way, Episode 22 of Chicago Fire Season 13, Why would he even leave? And worse, pushes Carver's plot to the limit, making it impossible for us to think that this might be the last time we see him. Thankfully, showrunner Andrea Newman acknowledged that both could return this season, but at the moment, it is heartbreaking to consider that this might be the final time we see either of them. This is particularly true of Carver, who kisses Violet and declares his love for her at the end of the season. Even though it's exactly what fans have been waiting for, the fact that we won't get to witness this relationship progress makes it feel very bittersweet. We witness them arrive, and it feels like a well-earned moment. Even if Lockett returns for the upcoming season, we won't see them continue. At the very least, we won't be able to witness their story unfolding before our eyes. We are aware of the realities of television budgets. However, this does not negate the fact that it is terrible when they have such a significant impact on the stories we have invested in. Naturally, there are ways to at least keep Carver in the narrative for the following year so that we don't feel as though our time spent on Violet and Carver was in vain. We might end up with that. For a little while, we will lament what we could have had and hope that, because the show decided to give us a payoff at the end of the season, it will be able to find a way to tell the story it intended to tell in the future.